hurricane season to just anyone.
Currently in our area, 44 degrees under clear skies. Tonight, cloudy intervals, low 37. Winds light and variable. Thursday, partly cloudy skies, high 69. Winds light and variable. Thursday night, cloudy, slight chance of a rain shower, low 52. Winds light and variable. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Hard to believe it's been 37 years since we've had a landfalling hurricane in the United States. 37 years in the month of November. Okay, that's pretty amazing. November landfalling hurricane, but that's what we're dealing with soon. It certainly looks like it's going to come either late tonight or toward midnight or after midnight, which is what most of the guidance suggests. But it is going to come in as a hurricane, which means that we are in the rare territory in through here with something that's coming ashore. But regardless of if it's state of trouble, the damage has been done. First Ian, all right, now Nicole. Huge waves just battering away and beating at the beaches. The big announcement today, obviously, on the Daytona Beach shores was the fact that we had 11 structures that, and I'm talking condominiums, that were deemed compromised. In other words, the support of those structures was compromised enough so that they evacuated those buildings. Some people stayed behind, even with a mandatory evac, but they had to come in and get those folks out, and that's what they did. You heard the sheriff or the chief actually talk to us earlier and tell us that they're pretty much ready for them to take on whatever they're going to happen tonight. And we'll wake up tomorrow morning. It's amazing, Dennis. I don't know what we're going to see. There is some homes down by Wilbur the Sea, which is about 2 miles to my south. I mean, there's nothing left. There was nothing left this afternoon, but it was basically sand and then the building right there, right on the edge. So I can't imagine this high tide coming in an hour and a half or so, what that's going to look like tomorrow morning. We may lose some of those. I'd be shocked if we didn't, actually.
Jim, do you feel like we need to get it out of our minds? We got to put ourselves in a different mindset that we always fear the big one, right? But think about these circumstances. You just kind of laid it out. 6 weeks ago, we had a hurricane make landfall on the west coast. The damaged buildings on the east coast. And now we have, by Floridian standards, tropical storm, low-end Category 1, no big deal. But it's been out there for days, lashing the coast. Those two things in combination may literally put high-rise condos in the Atlantic Ocean. That is crazy.
That is crazy. And Mike, I was thinking back to this is now my 110th storm that I've covered, depression storm, hurricane. I don't think I've ever been this far from a center. Okay, I mean, I'm at the edge of the hurricane warnings, where this is going to come in sometime, place down toward the Treasure Coast. But this kind of action this far from the center is just amazing. And yes, it's absolutely been exacerbated by Ian. Ian caused the cut. This is the wound that won't heal and is getting worse. That's exactly what this is.
Jim, I wanted to ask you about the lay of the land there in Daytona, because there are a lot of places where you can drive on the beach, right? So there's access out to the beach. We get storm surge that comes in there. How much of that water do you feel will get up to A1A or beyond?
That's a good question, Mike. I don't think so. We're right on one of those access roads. Okay, you can see where they open up the gates right here, and you can pretty much drive right down to the beach. Could it run all the way up? Can a little bit left, say. I'm going to show you. You see the debris field of earlier. You see where that sandbag and that blue sign is? That's how far it got earlier on with the high tide. So they don't want anybody beyond that. So could it run up even farther than that? The answer to that is yes. So that's a great question. But you know what? Here it is, just coming on shore right now. It's just coming up underneath the sign. But you know what I think is going to be more worrisome, Mike, are the areas where there's just a lot, and all there is sand, and we've seen a lot of that cut today. So do we actually get a cut between some of these condos or buildings where the water runs up toward A1A? That would be an amazing sight. But it's possible because we have 2 more high tide cycles to go.
Yeah, and you mentioned it earlier. We've gone so long without a hit, right? And some of these places were built in the 70s or 80s, right? This was probably the last thing on their mind. It's now all coming to fruition.
Mike, it's time that we take a look at this and really, look at these barrier islands. This is not the place to build. I think that has been very well established. If not before this event, it certainly has now. So to come back here, replenish these beaches, and build more buildings on a barrier island, that's just not smart. That's just not where we need to go. We need to do things better and smarter. And building back at a barrier island is just not what we need to do.
Jim, it's so expensive. And it's Floridians are really paying the price. We know the problems they've had with insurance there, but truly all of America pays the price, don't we?
Yes, we do. We all pay the price for this in a way. And you wonder how many, companies are going to go under now, insurance companies more under after this. Even though for you as a customer, you don't have to pay another deductible if you're filing another claim if you file one on Ian. So keep that in mind. We'll be right back.